Hello, hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, how are you doing, guys?
Doing great.
Fantastic.
I see you are in the sun.
I'm in the sun. We have the sunset here. It's pretty cool.
Very nice. Yeah, it's
Very
looking pretty
nice.
cool. It's the
Pretty
same
cool.
place, right? Your
It's the
same
same
balcony.
place. It's the same
Amazing.
balcony, but this time it's looking up. So I don't give up where I live.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's becoming a problem now, in the greater world. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Privacy is important now.
So we have a lot of topics, but I want to start with something very important. It's a question for David. David, do you cut your hair yourself?
No, this kind of cut is something that I can do as well. Yes.
So then my follow-up question is, what did you do to the person who cut your hair?
I even pay.
You pay for that?
I even pay for it,
No SIG, unless.
Sorry?
No SIG.
Not SIG.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. So today, after I think we already covered the more interesting topic of the night, but we have a few more things. We want to talk a little bit about the ZIGChain Summit, a recap of how was the event, what the significance that it has for us, and all the impact that it has in the community, in the ecosystem, all the people that we met. So it was very interesting. We will comment on that. Then there are 13 interests from the community from the Zamana services. So we will comment on that. Now also, and very related to Zamanat, is the RWA tokenization. Everybody's talking about tokenization. Let's gonna see what this means for ZIGChain. Then we can comment about a few ecosystem growth updates. We can talk a little bit about probably the biggest milestone in the history of ZIGChain mainnet, the launch of mainnet. And then we will comment a little bit about Steve Labs Fund, where a few investment has already been done, very aligned with the purpose of this blockchain, which is wealth generation. We are creating this wealth generation infrastructure because we want to offer investment opportunities for everybody. So you will see that our investment has been very aligned with this purpose. So with this also, we will leave the floor open to any question that you might have. So feel free to use the chat. We might uh, be answering on fly. For example, I see here, how is the Spanish community about Zip? There are two things here. We will be in Madrid at the end of the next month, and we are thinking about doing an event there. So we might meet here there. And the second thing, this is something funny that happened at the beginning of the history of Signary. So Davey and myself, we are Spanish. Signally, one of the first translation, we launched Signally in English, and then we didn't translate it to Spanish. And one of the next language that came in the platform was Poland. And there was somebody from the community saying, yeah, it makes total sense. The founders are Spanish, so Poland is the is the most obvious choice. So, but now now
They
we have
saw they saw right through you
exactly
early
exactly.
in the day.
So I don't know. I think we have maintained a low profile in general in Spain due to at least myself due to the how the government operate there. But I think it's too late for that. So and we have been years outside of Spain. So it will be very great to connect with the community there. We have very good friends. There are friends in the ecosystem. We are doing things with them. So next month, if you are in Madrid, you will see in a few weeks we will start announcing this event that we want to co-host with already established player there, and we will love to meet you and even create this community. We can do this kind of competition, and we will need to do a bigger community than the Pakistani community. It's a big challenge, but maybe we can try. Okay,
Yeah,
so
it will be a challenge. Yeah.
it will be a challenge. So, guys, you both were there. Similarly submit. What are your impressions? What do you think about it? We can start with you, David.
So I had the option to be talking with builders and many people from the ecosystem there directly in the event that we never met together until then. And the feeling, it was amazing. In fact, I met with a few guys that they were building something for ZIGChain, but they were part of the ecosystem of other blockchains at the beginning. And at the beginning, they were making questions to me as a founder and some question about the company, the mission and everything. And then I started to just in the opposite side because, hey guys, you were, experiencing the starting of other blockchains that today they are, really big ones, they really big players. How do you feel, and how do you make the comparison between then and now? And they say that even the stronger blockchains that today they are really the bigger players, they didn't have the kind of ecosystem that we are building right now, even in our situation that still not launched the mainnet. So yeah, the feeling, it was amazing, and the people is really building useful things seriously. So it was amazing for me.
Amazing. Rafai, tell us more about your view.
Yeah, I mean, I said this in the internal meeting as well, right? I'm generally a very what you say, a ruthless, to the point kind of a person who cares about numbers. But that was an emotional day, because I remember around 18, 19 months ago when we were in Singapore during the Token 2049 in Singapore. Bart, you know very well, and David, you know as well. Those were pretty depressing times. We were there just to find out what can we do next, really. And we did like a very small event on a 17th floor of a remote building in Singapore. Even then, like 200 people turned up, which was not bad. But then I fast forward 18 months and I see what has happened in last 18 months. It's it's alarmingly amazing. And how the company has evolved internally and somehow been able to externalize that success. And David, you are absolutely right that the environment there was insane and everyone saw that. But I will mention one thing which was very interesting. So we had a representation from one of the, not one of the biggest institutional desks in the whole crypto space. We had a representation from there. That guy supposedly came for 10 minutes, was supposed to come for 10 minutes. He stayed around for 90 minutes. And he made a remark which was literally the epicness level 1000. He was like that the only community where he saw that kind of vibe was Solana Breakpoint. And that was something, like it was an amazing compliment, especially coming from that guy who has been around. So that was great that day. But you know what happened after that day? I've been on ground for a lot of time. I was traveling again last week. It gave us insane kind of momentum. And now the topics that Bart mentioned in the beginning, we start talking about it. You know, opening doors is a very difficult task in the whole world, especially when you go into the deep finance. Since that day, our inbox, our telegrams, our WhatsApp are non-stop buzzing with the top tier people in the whole financial as well as the Web3 industry. No one has ever seen this kind of an environment where we were able to actually mix developers community and the traditional finance. So it was fascinating, but I'll tell you guys the biggest challenge. Next year we have to do a 10x better job, inshallah, and that would be a challenge.
Inshallah. So I think, and I will speak for the part of the team, there was a lot of people from the team that were there. I think many of us didn't realize what we were doing. Okay. I think it wasn't until this moment when we saw all the commitment and enthusiastic from the community, all the people that show up. And even so when you are in the event, you you notice something, but I think it was even more important in the following days, where you heard a lot of people talking about the event. And during Token 2049 week, there are thousands of events. Every hour there is an event. There is a event party. There is a sauna event. There is a yacht event. There is a networking event. There is a running event. There are thousands of events. People were talking about our event. So there was something huge. Um, and yeah, just what uh, um, Rafael commented about this big player that stayed there for 90 minutes. We went to his event the next day, and this guy was talking about our project to other people. The, sa- and these other people are at the same level, other
Yeah,
big players.
yeah, bigger
So,
players.
so you could see in that terrace in the top of a big building with the view of this. How is the name of this building, Rafael? The one with
With the
the
Burj Khalifa. No,
no, no,
Burj
no,
Al
no, no.
Arab. Burj Al Arab.
Okay, so there were a lot of people talking about ZIGChain. So it is in that moment when you realize that wow, we have a big um enthusiasm from the people, and they are aligned with what they like, what we are doing, and they are willing to onboard with us. And I could see that with the team too. They Many people who are in the tranche, they are working. It was the first time that the CTO went to the event, the first time that the CEO went to the event, is the first time that the head of growth, the CGO, went to an
CTO,
event.
CGO, CO, all of them first time.
All the Cs, all the executive people were there, and it was shocking for them. They didn't realize what they have been doing. And there are some people that have been here for a few months, other few years, but there were people who were here from the beginning. So I think it was a big boost of motivation, energy, not only for the team, for the community ecosystem, all the new people who want to get into the ecosystem. So cheers to everybody because we are building this together. So we got a really good momentum. We are being using this momentum in our favor. So there are a lot of things that we'll comment. Any other thing that you want to comment regarding the summit?
Nope. I think we'll cover some in the events coming, in the topics coming up.
Okay, so I saw a question totally off topic, but there was somebody asking for a public testnet. Testnet was reset.
6th of February.
Yeah, it has been from a few months working, but we had to reset a few days ago. But the testnet is public, so if you want to, there is a faucet, you can get some zip, and you can play around. And I think there was some announcement today in X that, for example, AutoSwap, the DEX that is building, and they are planning to launch in testnet today's
29th. Yeah, in 2
today's
days.
27 in 2 days. Okay, I think Baldora is
Veldora is
already
coming tomorrow.
is
Coming
close
tomorrow.
to launch. So you already have a few dApps that you can use to play with. You even can play with a few modules. I think the token factory for the module is there. And there are a few things that you can start doing. So feel free to join the community Discord is the more appropriate. Ask us any question that you might have. Cool. So Zamana services. Okay. I will tell a little bit about Zamana services. Rafael, you can tell a little bit about Zamana,
Yeah.
where Zamana is going. Okay, this I think for us, for me, the flagship of ZIGChain is profit sharing. Okay, this is the protocol that we have been building for 7 years. But I have to say that this Zamana thing, it looks really good,
Yeah.
really, really good.
Uh,
So
I'll make it easy to understand very simply. Wealth generation is a means to an end, like it's a vehicle um, that drives the traffic from the opportunity to the investor in an easiest form of way, right? That's the engine. And when you talk about the opportunities, this is where Zamanat comes in. And people think that it is something new and all, but reality is, Bart and David, you both know that one thing that we have always talked about. I'll tell you something, a little background. So today, you know whom I was talking to? I was talking to Jonna from GDA. Remember the team who did our ICO? We know them for 5 years now, right? And I was talking to him after 3.5 years, and I was telling him what all we doing. In the end, he said something very interesting. He said, "Your vision is exactly the same what it was 5 years ago. Your strategy might have changed, which is totally fine, but your vision is exactly the same, that you want to bring the equal opportunity and the inclusion to everyone in the world in the easiest form of way. Zamanat is exactly that. And I think it is a very powerful product, which I think we are very excited that Disrupt is building it. Means that there will be top builders and top technology, top BD, everything. And what it is doing is that you all have heard about the tokenization aspect, that how real world assets are going to get tokenized and the yield is going to come on chain and all. But people get stuck in RWS just on the real estate. It is well beyond real estate. For example, we already have tokenized US stocks, tokenized gold already as services of Zamanat. Then beyond real estate, you have private credit, private equity, warehouse financing, ship financing, jams, tennis courts, you name it, you have it. All kind of activities which can generate investment opportunities in real life for elites and for the people with higher amount of wealth. This all can be tokenized and fractionalized and be put on chain. And this is what Zamanat will be doing for ZIGChain. I cannot obviously speak into things that are not announced. But as you guys see that we have already secured a partnership with, the cherry farms is very interesting. So one day I was having cherries. I posted it on Twitter and the discussion started that can we tokenize the cherry farms? The reality is yes, why not? So
They, they were tokenizing olive trees in the
yes,
token 2049. We talked with them.
yeah, yeah.
This is
Yes, absolutely. I was talking to this guy, a Sri Lankan guy who's based in Colombo, and I understood the five types of trees that they plant, and the yield can go anywhere from 8% to 42%, depending on what they are growing, what kind of insurance are they getting. And not only that, but on top of that, they are getting carbon credits. Amazing and fascinating stories out there that are there, and that can all be tokenized. But the reality is that we got the deal from Wellington. There are 3 to 4 more deals, one in the invoice financing sector, one is on the venture capital sector, and one is on the private credit sector, all in the pipeline. And again, I can also say that we are working with one of the largest fund manager in the world, and we are working with one of the best regulatory bodies in the world right now to finalize the structure, which will open the floodgates of tokenization on ZIGChain. And we are not talking about millions here. We are talking about billions and beyond. Okay, the and then on the other side of the things, when it comes to distribution, obviously Signal is there. The whole white label network is there, and not only that, but a lot of big private banks are now talking to us that how they can actually take our tokenized structure and offer it to their high net worth clients across the world. So, and all of this, as I said, the momentum that came from the summit, those people spotted us, and now they are continuing these conversations with us. So on the Zamanat side, all of this structuring is happening. There's an independent team that's working on it. We are involved with them on certain things, but the idea is that eventually, just like any other DApp, they will be independently building and bringing in a lot of TVL for ZIGChain, as well as the opportunities.
Oh, there are a few things that you have commented. Many of them we cannot expand, but I want to know more, Rafael, about the invoicing. Well, not that I want to know
Yeah,
more because I already understood, but I'm super excited about that.
yeah.
And I want you to explain how this works and
Okay,
why it's so interesting for the people from Signally or any other one looking for some interesting deal.
sure. Invoices, very easy. Anyone who understands business, basic business, right? So, for example, there is one party who is the buyer, one party who is the seller. When the buyer buys and the seller sells, there is a cash transaction, right? He needs to pay to that person. Now, what happens in the world of businesses that there is a credit period, anything between 180 days to 210 days or whatever. Generally, what happens is that this is a cash flow matter which gets solved by the banking finance. Now, understand this problem as an individual, how difficult it is to get the banking loan, right? It is difficult. It is more difficult and more expensive for the people who are doing business as well for various reasons, because it is less ROI for the banks, smaller sizes, and everything, this and that. Uh, but what is happening now is that there are structures where these invoices in millions and millions of dollars are being accumulated as a single factor risk, and they are being tokenized. Now imagine this, that you will be able to invest $100 or even less if you want into a pool of funds that is basically generating yield by financing those $100 million worth of invoice. Your risk is well diversified, your returns are guaranteed, and we are talking about. So the company that we are working with, they have a pipeline of $400 million worth of invoices that they have either processed or in a process of financing, and they have a zero non-performing loan over last 2 years, and they are generating an average yield of 16 to 18%. So imagine that anyone as a simple basic investor will be able to participate into those kind of deals with $10, $100 or whatever. Okay, this is the power of tokenization that we are bringing on chain.
So two interesting things here. Well, first you say 16, 18. This in crypto doesn't look so much, but we need to realize, guys, that we want to scale. If we want to have something sustainable, we need to go to something more realistic. Okay, if we want to attract the big
Yes.
players, this is amazing. If I can sign 10% yearly with low risk, I will be more than happy. And the second thing, because I saw that there are a few Spanish in the community today. If you talk about that, this is not sexy in Spain, because in Spain it's really easy to owe money. And I will not say that there is no consequence, but it's very difficult to get your money back. But these guys in particular, they are in the MENA region, and the way that they operate, there is a kind of credit score similar to what they have in the US. That if you mess up with your credit score, you are fucked. You are already fucked for
you're
your whole
fucked.
life. So nobody mess with the credit score. So that's why the default rate from these guys is if not zero, is really really close to zero.
Yeah, it's
So
very
this is
very
something
close to.
that is very very interesting. A few more things that I want to comment regarding Zamanat is the beauty about this ecosystem that we are building is that Zamanat, they have they almost didn't build any technology and they are already offering service on Signally. Okay, so through Signally, there are a few protocols that already can start generating revenue and offering service to the community. So this is very powerful, and once we decentralize the profit sharing protocol, it's gonna be even more powerful. And the second
Yeah.
thing um, is I know that Samanat has a huge requirement, which is anything that they tokenize, it has to be Sharia compliant. But what this means for the people who are not Muslim, that they don't care about this, can they use these services? How this work?
Yeah.
Can you tell us,
So
Rafael?
yes, yes, absolutely. So why Sharia compliance? And this is a very strategic discussion about, if you remember when we were having this, that we need to understand that there is a very large part of the world which is underserved, and that is called Islamic finance, basically. And that is where the biggest opportunity. And also there is a confluence here. The biggest money right now is sitting in Middle East. And when you talk to Middle East, even for the sake of it, they need Sharia compliance financing in most of the things. That does not mean at all that if you are not Muslim, you cannot do it. In fact, the another way of doing calling it is called ethical financing. And I'll give you two examples very clearly. Standard Chartered Bank has Sadiq banking, and their fastest growth rate is actually in countries which are not Muslim. Also for HSBC Bank, Amana is growing very fast in the UK and very fast in the overall Europe. The reason is very simple. The way Sharia compliant structures are created, they are less extractive in nature, far more stickier, and the money that comes in by the virtue of the opportunity set, they stay around for a longer period of time. The only thing that is not there as compared to any other structure is basically that there is no interest element here. So the basic essence, interest is not there. It is replaced by some fees, which are benchmarked with the same kind of standards. But the idea is that this is a very, very big section which has not been targeted. Goes without saying that any player who wants to come in and use ZIGChain for any other kind of tokenization, absolutely it's a permissionless environment. Be our guest, do it, and we will support you at our best. But Zamana as a product, as a single line product, its focus is on Sharia compliance because its majority of the focus is on the Middle East market, not only from the opportunity perspective that can be anywhere in the world, but the distribution that's been targeted, it's predominantly in the Middle East, where trillions of dollars are yet to be unlocked. As Mr. Donald Trump was in Middle East last week, and he got like gifts worth $2.4 trillion. So you can imagine the kind of money that's sitting here idle, ready to be deployed. So it's not only like it is to some extent for some people maybe a religious choice, but for us it makes complete commercial sense to go that way.
Oh, exactly. So not because it's Sharia compliant, it means that you cannot use it. In fact, it has some requirement that make the investment, I will not say less risk, but at least you have 13 guarantees that there is gonna be something behind if follows
Yeah.
13 rules. So I think
Yes.
it's a really good approach. Again, Rafael commented permissionless, any other player is more than welcome to come and offer other solution. But with this solution, we can set our purpose, which is to reach everybody. Okay, and
Yes.
if there are a part of the population that have this constraint and there is no harm focusing on this, it's not that we are focusing, but we are more than welcoming this player that is already building, is already offering services in the platform, and we are hoping to see more in the coming weeks and months. Cool. So we had a topic which was real world asset tokenization. but I think we already commented on this. Not sure if David, Rafael, you want to comment to say anything else about that?
On tokenization?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I from my side on the B2B side, I had several meetings during the last weeks after the event. And what is something pretty clear is at least that still some players that they have really good businesses, they still don't understand why it can be interesting, the tokenization for them. I remember a question and I answered it, and I'm not the most expert there on the tokenization, but I answered it something pretty, fast and simple. The guy told me, for me, makes not the guys already have a business that they have more than 12 million invested in a fund. But he said, it makes sense for us to be moving our customers to the blockchain in order to be investing. And I said, offshore not, only the ones that they want, for sure, if they have already some capital in crypto. But then I explained it, and why it can be making sense for the people that they already have capital in the crypto side. I say, okay, imagine something pretty simple. This is only one scenario, but there will be many. Let's say that you have 10,000 or 100,000 USDT, for example, but you are bullish on Bitcoin, just an example, or in ZIG, whatever. Let's say that you prefer to be holding this Bitcoin and you want to borrow from there some USDT and you want to invest in this investment, for example. You are still on the boat for Bitcoin and you are investing. Then I kind of unlock it a few things on their side and they are exploring pretty deep and they are almost on board. They are pretty bullish and they want to be tokenizing the fund and become part of the ecosystem.
We will end having to curate all the real world asset that comes to at least to signaling.
Yeah.
Good. So also we already commented on ecosystem growth updates. Autoswap is coming in 2 days. Bardora is coming in 1 day, meaning that starting tomorrow, you can start staking your ZIG from testnet. You will receive a liquid state token, which you can use to go to Autoswap and have some fun. I'm not sure how we are with the Token Factory platform.
I heard it's coming in. I heard from outside actually. Interestingly, there are some guys who actually posted it on Twitter, and then I had to ask my ZigLab guy to check, and I found out that they are also coming in like 3-4 days. So like this grapevine is moving faster than we know.
Okay, so then what we do is that we create the token, we can create the token, we can get the liquid state token from ZK staking, we can go to swap this in AutoSwap. Okay, what other things do we have in testnet?
In testnet, I think then we will have lending borrowing. I'm not sure. Yeah, they are also coming in testnet. So lending borrowing would be there. So that's interesting. You can lend you can borrow ZIG and then stake it and get STZIG and then play with it.
I'm
You know,
I'm so excited about the lending borrowing
yeah,
because
they can take tokenized asset. Yeah,
they can take tokenization asset. And
yes,
we
yes.
already talked with them, they are willing to do it. So imagine guys, we have these Ellington properties. There is gonna be, and this is something that not too many people have cracked, but this Zamana guy did. They are gonna tokenize on plan apartment buildings. Okay, so you can say that the price appreciation from where you get the token until the building is built or the apartment is built is going to be bigger than if you buy just the apartment already built. So imagine that you need to hold this. I don't know the how long it takes for them to build. Let's gonna say
3 to
3-4
4
years,
years. Yeah, yeah,
just
exactly, exactly.
2-4 years. So and you don't want to have these tokens in them in your wallet. So you go to this lending borrowing. They are gonna accept this token. You can get some cash. you all see you can stake, take the yield from the validators, you can play with the liquid staking token. So the opportunities that we are gonna have, and even better for those of us that don't know all these combos that you can do, you're gonna have probably service in the marketplace of Signally
Yeah,
and other white labels doing this for
yeah.
you.
I
So
actually heard about recently. There is one very interesting founder that came to us to Big Labs recently. They want to build something like this in a DeFi way, where they want to club everything in one go and whatever charge on top of it. I think it's a brilliant idea. Whoever can crack it, that all these intricacy details. That's the whole point, right? To cut the complexity. If someone can have like this kind of audited vaults where they can take it and then deploy and then give like one single return, I think that can be fascinating. Because see, you know what I think? Many blockchains have this problem, right? That when they kick off, their tokens are not distributed, right? I mean, all they have distribution is an airdrop, which comes from like those farming mechanisms and all that, but they do not have a real community. We have 30,000 plus on-chain holders today, and then we have in fact more on exchanges as well. So these people are there already. It's just that I'm banking on these dApps to create the right content and the right strategy to tell people how it operates. This can kick off really well for us, and the numbers that we have done, I'm very confident that we will have a 9-digit PVL in a very short period of time after the mainnet, just because of this reason that people in our communities, they already have token and they want to do something with it. And if some DeFi Vault or some Zignally service can come on top of it, which can take care of this aggregation and DeFi placement and have like a single line of contact on chain or even off chain, I think that can be fascinating.
nice. So more things about ecosystem growth updates or in general updates. As you
Yeah.
know, well, I will comment about this later. We are now passing the security audit. It has been, I think, 1 week since we started, and so far, the bigger thing that they have reported, and it could change. It has been just a week, is a mistake in the documentation. So I'm very proud of the team because they took very serious about the security. After that, we plan to do a few other things to be sure, maybe some bounties, maybe some reward for people who want to contribute to the security of the chain. But so far so good. So we are in really good track to to launch in the time that we say. So we keep the momentum of the summit. We are having a lot of conversations, as Rafael commented, with private banks, with potential builders, with potential partners, more VCs who want to participate in these ecosystem funds that we have created for the builders deploying on ZIGChain. So nothing that we can announce yet, but we are using the best of time for materializing what we got from the 16th summit. So pretty excited, and we will give more updates about the next event once we have more information. Okay, and yes, 25th of June, we plan to launch a beta mainnet. Okay. We are in good track, as I said. The security audit is looking good. Not other than documentation and small detail, there is nothing there. We plan to be in June launching the chain. We plan to be in Madrid launching the chain with a big part of the team there. If you want to join us, there is gonna be this pre-launch event probably. So you are more than welcome to come. Any other thing that you want to comment, guys, about the ZIGChain launch?
No,
Pretty
just looking
excited.
forward to it. Yeah.
The people say in the message, 25 June alarm set.
Yeah,
By
that's
the
our
way,
friend
more than
Habibi.
1,000 people watching. So
Yes, yes,
thanks to the
yes.
community.
That's this guy, by the way, Habibi. I always want to appreciate. He actually, few days ago, he had his surgery and all, and I think he was lying down on his bed, and from his bed, he was supporting us on Twitter. And wherever he goes in the world, he takes a picture and he posts it and talks about us. So, like, he's. I have never met him personally, but it will be an honor to meet him very soon, somewhere, sometime. But yeah, great support from him every time.
Absolutely. And actually, you need to remind me his name later, Rafael, because I'm discussing with Aurora, our head of growth, that we need to have something similar to the business Binance Angels. So
Yeah.
I think having somebody like Kavi, it will be an honor.
Absolutely,
So
we have some really good people on the Turkish community and in our Spanish community, in our Dutch community now, and Pakistani community. Couple of people in India. I think we have some really amazing candidates, and the best part here that can be is that we don't have to announce anything to get the already know the people, like contributors for the last 3 years that we know already, and we can be like, great, these are the people. So absolutely, I think that again is a good part of being an old project that you have this data. You don't have to really start a program. You can just like, okay, these are the people. Let's bring them in.
exactly, amazing. So Rafael, how the ZipLab pipeline looks like?
Pretty blazing. I think we have done more than half a dozen investments. No, actually more than that already. And it's interestingly, actually, not all the dApps that were on show in ZIGChain Summit were invested by Zig Labs, and not all the dApps where we invested were there. So it's an interesting mix because some were too early to be there. So I think now that we have most of the primitive dApps that have been building are ready, we are going slightly more complicated, as we said. Like some people are coming with some DeFi ideas, people are coming with some gaming ideas. We are very focused on the things that actually will help in the yield optimization, basically. So, for the last couple of days, for example, we are having a discussion with this team, which has a certain very interesting tool created around the tokenization space, and they want to get this integrated into a particular blockchains, in a particular way. That kind of thing is happening. Then we got a couple of applications around, not couple, more than that, applications around where some of the people want to create certain AI agents who can then take care of, on-chain trading, and they want to hop on. One of the guys out of them mentioned a very interesting remark. I told him, okay, this will happen down the lane. He said, no, actually, the newer blockchains are lesser efficient when it comes to liquidity and trading. I said, yes, makes sense. So his point was this creates the best opportunity. So if we can come in early and if we can attract larger capitals, we can generate more yield, which makes complete sense. So these kind of deeper discussions are happening now. We are in talks. So there is a team that wants to create perpetuals, and there is a team that want to create a NFT marketplace. Actually, there are three teams that want to create NFT marketplace on ZChain. We said to all of them, more than welcome, but one of them we are actually considering for investment as well. So that is very interesting. Yeah. So yeah, it's we are spending money, let's say.
And again, if we do this event in Madrid, and many of the co-founders will be there. So feel free to reach us and pitch your idea, because if you are aligned with our vision, if you are, and one way or the other, you are providing worth to everybody, and this is aligned with what we are doing, what we are looking for. So we will be more than happy to discuss and sit and talk to you.
Absolutely. I think everyone is highly appreciative of our no grant, yes investment thesis, where so I think soon actually I'm planning one session with a couple of founders from the blog from the ecosystem, like from Oroswap and from Veldora and from Permapod, where we gonna talk about what it means to be invested by Zig Labs. And I would want them to talk about what it means, because this is something that I think we have learned from Disrupt, that everyone can put in money, but the smart money means a lot more. It is the money, especially in the current environment, in the days to come, it will become a commodity. Everyone will have a lot of it. But what would really matter is that what this money brings to you, how it can ease out your next round of funding, how it can ease out your TGEs, your listings, your KOL network, your PR, everything end to end. Because product is one thing, but then token is another thing altogether. So how do we come into the picture, and how our growth engines are helping them? So yeah, I mean, it will be an interesting conversation for other devs who are listening.
So this is a very interesting uh, topic. We have been 7 years with Signally, but let's forget about that. It's kind of like any other startup. But the token, it has been 4 years. The amount of money that we have wasted, the amount of time
Yes,
that we have wasted, uh, we can I can consider a few listings like fucking scams from big, or back then
yes,
big exchanges.
yes. I agree.
Even the money that we got from some exchanges. Uh, so if I will have this knowledge before that would have happened, I think maybe we will be now one cycle ahead of what we are now. So this
Absolutely.
is high valuable. This is something that I have a huge value from this wrap, because in the startup they have helped us a lot. They have uh, um, put at our disposition many resources, many coaching sessions. Still, I have one monthly session with the CEO of this wrap, who is an amazing guy. If we can put this, because at the end, all the investment that we do in the ecosystem, we want them to succeed. So all our knowledge, all of network, all of resource are to their disposition.
Yeah.
So I think for me now, I know that it's easy to say this when you have some funds, and when you don't have, then you take whatever it takes to take your funds. But believe me, guys, this knowledge, this resource are much more valuable than the money.
Yes.
But you don't need to
Absolutely.
choose. We have the two things. We have $25 million for anything related to investment and AI, and we also have $100 million more related to investment.
Overall wealth
So
generation. Yeah.
exactly, everything related to wealth generation. So you don't need to choose. Feel free to reach us. We have some forms. We are easy to. Rafa is always in Twitter answering everybody. So
I
if
don't
not,
work. That's why, everyone knows I don't work.
exactly, exactly. So, and you will have the opportunity to meet us in Madrid next month.
Yeah, and one
I
thing I
think.
want to answer on the Amsterdam. So we were planning to come to the Amsterdam alongside Madrid, but unfortunately the dates are not fixing well, because we have the mainnet there now. So we might be in Berlin during the Berlin Blockchain Week on our way to Madrid. So we are considering it. But there'll be Berlin, that be that, and there might be something in London towards early July. Amsterdam looks a bit tough right now. I really wanted to be there, because last year when we were in Amsterdam, it was freaking amazing. Like, we were shocked that day, So we want to be there, but it's my promise that sometime this year, for sure, if no one else, I'll personally be in Amsterdam to have an event. June does not look possible right now. I'm not ruling it out yet, but it looks tough. But sometime this year, that's my promise.
Okay. Or we need a kind of ZIGChain angel, or whatever name we
Yeah,
believe to
maybe.
this. They can
Yeah,
organize these events, and sometimes we will be more than happy to attend these events, some people from
exactly.
the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, Zik Connect is a very great initiative that we talked about. And we will have one event happening in Nigeria under Zik Connect. And it will be great if Amsterdam, we have a great community. If someone, decides to volunteer and do it and pitches the idea, yeah, you never know. One or two of us might just pop in, you know?
Absolutely. Okay, I
Yeah.
think we covered a lot of things. As always, we have the channels open for you guys. So if you have any question, if you want to know the number of the Davis Barber Shop or something like that, just feel free to reach us, and we will be more than happy to answer. We see you in the
Absolutely.
next founder meetup.
And hopefully that would be after midnight.
Yeah.
It will
Yep.
be exactly,
It
exactly.
will be.
Okay,
Thank you,
guys.
Okay,
everyone.
guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.